Okay, we will start our class by reciting the Mangala Charm prayer to invoke auspiciousness. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shwapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shaganargunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shamaritam Parijana Chaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabhandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Panebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashali Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panglam Hayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamham Vande Sri Gurun Janataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chitaveshwaram Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, before we go to our next discussion toward the end of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, so I'd like to request at least 4 devotees just mention 1 point for 1 devotee, 1 point. What are the signs of Arjuna's, of Pandava's victory that we have discussed in the previous class? 1 devotee, just 1 point.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Rukmini Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Sound vibration of the Transcendental Council.
Okay, enough. Thank you. Other devotees? Yes, Mataji, Vajyanti Mataji.
Keshava Swayam Krishna was present, the husband of goddess of fortune.
Madhava.
Sorry. Madhava.
Okay. And then next one.
That's chariot given by the Agnidev.
Yeah, chariot given by Agnidev. And what is the last one? One more devotee.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Kapidhwaj, the Hanumanji on the flag of the chariot.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, in our previous class also, we have discussed how Lord Krishna becomes the Bhaktavatsala, reciprocating his pure devotees. So, Senayar Ubhayar Madhya Ratham Sthapayame Chuta, when Arjuna requested Lord Krishna to bring his chariot between the 2 armies, the 2 parties. So Arjuna was agreed with that. So Arjuna's addressing Lord Krishna as Achyuta, and the significance of that word is that Lord Krishna is never failed. Yeah, he is infallible, including following the instruction of his pure devotees. And Srila Prabhupada explained, of course, that Lord Krishna is much more pleased to receive the order from his pure devotees rather than giving order. Yeah, that's significant. And then we move to the next discussion toward the end of this chapter. So this is actually the part of the Arjuna Visada. Actually, in Sanskrit, the first chapter is actually entitled Arjuna Visada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's lamentation. So now we will see here, starting from text number 28, that how Arjuna is lamenting with his condition, seeing his family, that they are ready to fight. So we will see here that Arjuna's reason of not fighting. Okay. So our main topic of discussion today is that Arjuna's reason for not fighting. So in general, there are 5 reasons for Arjuna not fighting. So 4 reasons we will find toward the end of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And then the 5th one will be in the beginning of the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So text number 28, Arjuna Vaja. Dristvemam swajanam Krishna yutsum samupastitam siddhanti mama gatrani mukam cha parishishyati. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So Arjuna is showing the symptoms here that the limbs of his body quivering and his mouth drying up. Actually, this verse indicating Arjuna's compassion. This is the first reason of Arjuna not fighting. Yeah, compassion. Compassion for his family members, that they are actually so enthusiastic to fight against himself, against Arjuna. So in a family, the same family, cousin, brothers, uncles, grandfather, his teacher, yeah, Guru, Dronacharya. So Arjuna is feeling compassion here. How can I fight with my own kinsmen? That was Arjuna's first reason to Lord Krishna of not fighting, that he feels compassion. Yeah. And Srila Prabhupada, of course, commenting that such symptoms in Arjuna were not due to weakness, but to his soft-heartedness, a characteristic of a pure devotee of the Lord. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada explained, compassion is actually the natural qualification, natural tendency of a devotee, of a Vaishnava. Yeah, yashyasti bhakti bhagavat kinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasti suraha harawa bhakta shakuto mahaguna manoratena satidavato bahi. So actually this verse is explained by Prahlad Maharaj. Yeah, yashyasti bhakti bhagavat kinchana, those who are engaged in the Lord's service. So they actually naturally developing the good qualities, just like the demigod. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavat kinchana sarvair gunais tatra. So sarvair gunais tatra samaste suraha. Suraha means the demigod. Yeah, Ashura means demons. Suraha means the demigods. So sarvair gunais tatra. Naturally, the devotees will develop good qualities. Yeah, whoever connected to Krishna, whoever engaged in Krishna service favorably, so they will develop good qualities naturally. Yeah, just like in my case, most of the time whenever I preach to the new people, so I generally don't force them to immediately give up meat, for example. But the main thing I ask them is that just to chant the holy name, chant your rounds as much as you can, and naturally they will reject meat, naturally, because it's hard, especially when I was in Cambodia. Like, it's so hard for the Cambodians to live without meat. To live without meat for them is like, wow, something that really extreme, impossible. They were asking me how you live without meat. I said, look at me, I'm fat. I'm a vegetarian, but I'm fat. Yeah. So I tried just to encourage them to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and naturally they will give up their bad habit because the holy name is purifying. Yeah. Yathagadam viryathamam upayuktam yadrichaya ajanantu pyatma gunam kuryan mantro vyudaharitam. This is explained in the sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yathagadam viryatum. It's just like medicine. Ajananto pyatma gunam. Just like when somebody is sick, a patient approach a doctor, and the doctor explaining like so many things about the disease and gives the medicine, and the patient, although he doesn't know the benefit of this medicine, simply by taking the medicine he will get cured. So similarly, ajananto pyatma gunam puryam mantra apyudahritam. Even if somebody know or he doesn't know what is the benefit of the chanting of the holy name, just by chanting it, he will get purification. So that's actually our business when we are preaching. Just encourage them to chant the holy name. In the beginning, people may not be able to follow the four regulative principles. It may tough, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. For people, that's like really hard. But our business is how we can engage them in the service of the Lord, especially the chanting of the holy names. Yes, yes, so compassion. And regarding compassion, compassion is actually one of the prime qualification of a preacher. Yeah, being compassionate. Why we preach to others? Because we feel compassion. We are seeing those who are disconnected to Krishna are actually suffering. Therefore, we try to connect them to Krishna, and this is due to our compassion. The natural quality of a devotee is paradukkha dukhi. We feel like dukkha, unhappy by seeing others also who are in distress. Seeing others in distress, we feel naturally unhappy. So compassion. But in this case, with Arjuna, Arjuna feels compassion because he's seeing that his family now in the front of him. He doesn't want to kill them. How can I, Arjuna said, how can I kill them? But in fact, they are in the opposite party. They are so enthusiastic to fight against me. So Arjuna feels sad also at the same time. Okay, this is the first reason of Arjuna not fighting. First one is that compassion. And this verse is just the supporting verse of the previous one. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. So this is just another symptom, further symptoms. The previous one talks about Arjuna's body trembling and his mouth drying up his mouth. And here he feels like the hair of his body is stand on end, the Gandiva slip from his hand, skin burns. And then text number 30, Nimitani Chapashiyami Viparitani Keshava. Translation, I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Kasi demon. So Viparitani, just the opposite. This is the second reason of Arjuna not fighting, enjoyment. Opposite. Yeah, Viparitani means just the opposite. So generally, when somebody fight, there is a motivation of gaining something. In this case, of Arjuna's case, he's fighting to get the kingdom. So in that way, if we win the battle, he will enjoy the kingdom, right? But here Arjuna is thinking, how can I enjoy the kingdom if I kill all my kinsmen, brothers, cousins, grandfather, Bhismadev? We will see later in the beginning of the second chapter where Arjuna said, Guru Nahatva hi mahanubhavan sreyo bhoktum bhaiksham api haloke. Let me become a beggar. Bhaiksham api haloke. I don't want this kingdom. Let me take sannyas and live by begging. Hatvartha kamam tu gurun ihaiva bunjiya bogam rudira pradita. Even if we win this kingdom, so-called enjoyment, Arjuna said, but this enjoyment, this kingdom is tainted by their blood. then what is the use? How can I enjoy without my family? That's actually what Arjuna meant to say here. So just the opposite. Yeah, Arjuna is thinking that, okay, we come here to get something and enjoy it, but it's just the opposite. How can we enjoy if our family members die? We just brothers here. Why we have to kill them? And another important thing also here, Kesava. Yeah, the word Kesava is significant because actually Arjuna is mentioning here, oh Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. Krishna is killing his enemy, the demons. But why Arjuna should kill his own family members? That's why he's calling him Kesava. Later also, Arjuna will address Lord Krishna as Madhusudana. He's referring to his name, the killer of Madhu demon. Yeah. So Kesava means one who kills Kesi demon. So Arjuna kills his enemy. But why Krishna inducing Arjuna to fight to kill his own kinsmen, his own family members? So in the lecture, Srila Prabhupada said, oh Arjuna, also is playing like an ordinary foolish person. Nimitani viparitani. Where is my happiness? I came here to fight to get happiness, and I have to kill my own kinsmen. Then where is my happiness? I cannot enjoy the property or the kingdom alone. There must be relatives, brothers. Yeah. For example, like if you have a big house or you have a lot of money, if you're a very kind person, soft-hearted person, you would like to share with your friends, with your family members, right? So same thing also like Arjuna. So that was the second reasons of Arjuna not fighting is enjoyment. Text number 31, Nachasrayonupashyami. Arjuna said, I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So I highlighted here, this word Shreyo means good. Actually, Srila Prabhupada in the lecture explained there is called Shreyo and also Preya. Shreya and Preya. So Shreya is actually referring to the ultimate good in the future for long-term benefit. Shreyo, Shreya, what is that? In the 7th verse of the 2nd chapter. Karpanya dosu pahata swabhava verse. Karpanya dosu pahata swabhava. Vichamitam dharma samuda chetaha. Yat shreyashan. So Arjuna is mentioning yat shreyashan. He's not saying preya. Preya means also good, but it's just temporary. For now, that is called preya. But shreya referring to the future, the ultimate good for long-term benefit. That is shreya. So Srila Prabhupada explained, without knowing that one's self-interest is Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationship, hoping to be happy in such a situation. So Arjuna is thinking here that how can I get something tangible by killing my own kinsman? Now he becomes just like ordinary human being, just like conditioned soul becomes attached to his family members. He doesn't want to kill his family members. Well, of course, that's a good thing. We are not at all encouraged to kill our own family members. But in this case, if we prioritizing something in our life, and that should be Krishna's instruction. So just like Arjuna here, seemingly he is affected by Maya, by illusion, that he's developing such a very deep attachment to his family members. That's why Srila Prabhupada explained here, when we don't know what is the ultimate goal of this human form of life, yeah, and that is Krishna or Vishnu, we become too entangled. We become very much entangled in this material world, especially due to our attachment to our family members. Yeah. Prahlad Maharaj said, Nate vidu swartha gaten hi Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate destination, the ultimate goal of life, which is Vishnu. Nate vidu swartha gaten hi Vishnu. Durasaya ye bahiratamanina. They're just being illusioned by the external energy of love. Andhaya tandair upaniyamanam titisatantriyam urudam nibaddha. And more they become entangled. Urudam nibaddha means being bound. In a lecture to this verse, Srila Prabhupada mentioned. So here the problem is, what is Steya? What is the ultimate good? That is mistaken here. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita required. He is thinking, so Prabhupada referring to Arjuna, he is thinking that Krishna is not so important. My family is important. My family. Although he is devotee, therefore Kanishta Adhikari in the lower stage of devotion. In the lower stage of devotion, one may be interested in Krishna consciousness, but his real interest is how to improve this material life. Yeah. So just like the example, the two birds, yeah, we heard this example many times. There are two birds in a tree, and there are two birds in a tree, and one bird is enjoying the fruit, and the another one is witnessing the bird which is enjoying. So that's actually referred to the soul and the Paramatma, the Jiva and the Paramatma. So the Jiva, when the Jiva is being illusioned by the fruit of his activities in this field, the Kshetra, yeah, this is called Kshetra, and the Jiva is known as the Kshetra Gya. Kshetra Gyachapi Mamvidi Sarva Kshetre Subharata will be explained in the unit. I think that will be in the third unit about the Kshetra Gya, in the 13th chapter. By the way, so this is our situation now. We are turning our face to some other direction. Just like Arjuna here, that actually his real friend, Lord Krishna, who is the Paramatma himself, just sitting next to him on the same chariot. But Arjuna is turning his face toward his own family members. His only concern now is just his family members. He's forgetting Krishna. Yeah. So Prabhupada explained, he doesn't know what is the Shreya. He's thinking that first and foremost is my family, and then something else, including Krishna. But our main business is first, how can I please Krishna? Who is the person next to me here? Krishna. And then in this verse, from text number 32 to 35, Arjuna is calling Krishna by three names here. Yeah. O Govinda, of what avail to us our kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. First is Govinda, yeah, this word Govinda. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities. So second word here, that Arjuna used to address Krishna is Madhusudana. The first one is Govinda, the second one is Madhusudana. The third one is that maintainer of all living entities, or Janardhan. Yeah. I'm not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So Arjuna's mentality here that, okay, if they want the kingdom, let them take it. I don't want it, okay? I don't want to kill my family. If they come here and they want to kill me, okay, I'm ready to be killed. I don't care even for myself. So here, Govinda. Govinda means one who gives pleasure to the cows. And also another meaning of Govinda is that one who gives pleasure to the senses. Now Arjuna addressing Krishna using this word Govinda. So Arjuna is thinking, because Krishna, he should know that because he's Govinda, he's giving pleasure for the senses, right? But why now Krishna is giving pain for my senses? Instead of giving pleasure, Krishna is giving pain to my senses. So Arjuna is sarcastic here, being so sarcastic to Krishna. Yeah, he's Govinda. He's supposed to be, giving a lot of pleasure to my senses. But why he's giving pain on my senses? Yeah, on my mind, my eyes. I cannot see this scene. I cannot hear how my family members will cry in death. I cannot smell the blood that pouring down on the field. No, I can't see. So Govinda, and Prabhupada explained, of course, that our senses belong to Krishna, and Krishna is the Rishikesh, is the master of the senses. Therefore, all of us actually should utilize our senses in the service of the Lord. How our senses can get pleasure, real pleasure, will be derived when we utilize our senses in Krishna's service. That's how we can be happy actually. By worshipping Govinda, the one who's giving pleasure to the senses. So we also, in return, we get the happiness. That's the principle. As much as we surrender to Krishna, that much Krishna will reciprocate to us. So Arjuna is concerning to his own family. He doesn't want to follow the words of Lord Krishna, Krishna's instruction. That means he's not using his senses to serve Krishna. Therefore, he feels the pain. Yeah. Therefore, he feels the pain because he's not utilizing his senses properly to please Govinda. Yeah. But Krishna is addressed here by Arjuna by the name Govindas, with Arjuna's intention that you are Govindas, but you are not pleasing my senses. Rather, you are giving pain. So that first. And then Madhusudana, as I mentioned earlier also regarding the Keshava. So Madhusudana, Lord Krishna is killing his enemy, Madhu demon. So Lord Krishna is killing his enemy. But why Krishna inducing Arjuna to kill his own family members? That was his second concern here in these verses. And then the third one is that Janardhan, maintainer of all living entities. Yeah. Krishna is the maintainer of all living entities. He is known as Janardhan. Yeah. But why he is the maintainer of all living entities, now asking Arjuna to kill them? So Arjuna is addressing Krishna here so sarcastically, we can say like that. Yeah, he is hinting in each name of Lord Krishna. You are known as this, but actually you are acting oppositely. You are acting oppositely. You are Janardhan, you are the maintainer of all living entities, but you are inducing me to kill them. What is this, Krishna? Yeah. So that's Arjuna's concern there. Okay. And then text number 36. In this verse, we'll find the third reason of Arjuna not fighting. Papam evasrayed aspan hatwaitan atatayinaha. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain? O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So this is reason number 3, sinful reaction. Yeah, papam. Arjuna said papam. Papam means sins. If we kill them, actually killing in general, Arjuna is mentioning, killing in general is actually condemned. Yeah, we should not kill. Ahimsa, that's Lord Buddha's teaching. Yeah, ahimsa paramo dharma. The topmost dharma, according to Lord Buddha, is ahimsa, non-violence. Because when we kill, any action in the material world will create reaction. Yeah, killing is such a very horrible thing. Yeah, especially killing our own family members. So Arjuna mentioned here atatayinaha, referring to Duryodhana being aggressors. Aggressors means one who attacks. So even though they try to kill us, but after all, we're still alive, Arjuna said. After all, we're still alive. So if we kill them, we may incur some sinful reactions. Yeah, papam atatayinaha. No, don't fight. Let them take the kingdom, don't fight. O Madhava, the husband of goddess of fortune. Again, Lord Krishna is addressed here by Arjuna using the name Madhava. So Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune, Sri, fortune. But where is the fortune? If we kill our own family, if we are full of sin, then where is the fortune? Sin simply create miseries. There's no fortune here because we are killing. Killing itself is the unfortunate activities. It simply leads us to sin and it will drag down us to hell. Then where is the question of being fortunate? Therefore, Arjuna addressed Krishna again here as Madhava, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Of course, Arjuna being soft-hearted here, that although Duryodhana and his brothers tried to kill them, aggressors, but still Arjuna just so forgiving. Yeah. And Srila Prabhupada explained, according to Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. 1 is poison giver. Number 2, one who sets fire to the house. Number 3, one who attacks with deadly weapons. Number 4, one who plunders riches. Number 5, one who occupies another's land. And the last one is that one who kidnaps a wife. So, Duryodhana did all these 6 activities. Therefore, he's known as aggressor. Even if one performed 1 out of the 6, he is considered to be an aggressor. And according to the Vedic injunction, if we kill this kind of person, who perform this, whether it is all activities or just 1, actually we don't incur any sin. So poison giver, if somebody try to give us poison, if we kill them, we don't get any sin. Same thing also to all others. And Duryodhana did all this stuff. And if we kill, actually, Duryodhana is deserved to be killed because he performed all these 6 kinds of activities, sinful activities. Yeah. And Arjuna will not incur sin. But Arjuna's concern here is that, okay, After all, killing is not good, especially killing our own family members. Therefore, Arjuna is afraid of sinful reactions. Sins. That's the third reason for Arjuna rejecting to fight. And then from text number 37 to 43, you kindly read the verses and purport. I'm just giving synopsis here. It's quite long. So in text number 37, 38, 39, it's actually talking about destruction of the dynasty. So Arjuna is talking about the destruction of the dynasty. If all this man killed, our dynasty will be finished, will be destroyed. And when the dynasty is destroyed, then a family becomes involved in irreligion. And as a result, woman will be polluted. When when there is no man protecting the woman, woman becomes polluted. And polluted woman means when woman mixing freely with the opposite sex. Yeah. With the opposite sex. This is actually irreligion. Yeah, irreligion. And in Kali Yuga, this is like a very common thing that we can witness. Yeah. Seeing man and woman mixing freely. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, whenever he talks about this topic, he's always condemning the modern educational system. Yeah. University, where boys and girls are mixed freely, especially when you are far, far away from your parents. You can mix so freely. And Prabhupada actually mentioned in quite a few occasions that university is actually none other than a slaughterhouse. If you send your children to university, that means you are sending them to a slaughterhouse. Well, we may feel like, oh, it's too heavy statement, and not all devotees ready to follow this instruction. Yeah, of course, Srila Prabhupada, in order to be favorable in our devotional activities, Srila Prabhupada preferred to send the children to Gurukul, especially the boys, to Gurukul, and women should stay at home and get trained by their own family members, elderly members. That's actually the traditional practice. Yeah. Brahmacharya is actually the practice for the boys, and chastity is the practice of women. Srila Prabhupada explained that the only training that women should get is that they should be trained in chastity, how to become a good wife, and learn that from the elderly, such as mother or sister, aunties, grandmother, like this. Women will be trained at home, and then boys will be trained in Gurukul, sent to Gurukul to become good brahmachari and learn the 64 arts. That's the ideal practice, of course. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, it's hard to follow. We have to send our children to the school, but still, if we have faith in Shastra, why we send our kids to the university or to school, whatever? Because, of course, as parents, we have the anxiety that what will be the future of my son or my daughter. That's actually the biggest anxiety for being parents. You want your children's future to be bright, right? But then in university they mix freely, so their character may spoil. Their character is spoiled. Yeah, when women mix freely with the boys, with men, then actually it will lead to the unwanted progeny. Comes unwanted progeny means the Varna Sankara. Yeah, the Varna Sankara. When there is no man, in this case, Arjuna's reasoning is that when men are killed, many women will become polluted because they are unprotected. And then when they mix freely, there will be unwanted progeny. Varna Sankara refers to children without father. This is common thing in Kali Yuga. There are so many children without father. Yeah. Especially in the West, I'm sorry to say that many boys and girls, they just live together as boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever they call it. And then they just, live together. And then when the woman get pregnant, the boy just run away, irresponsible. There are so many abortions, of course, happen for those women who doesn't want to abort. Then the result is the Varna Sankara, children without father. And that's very bad actually for the society. And when the Varna Sankara appear, family tradition is stopped. And then the next one, what happened? Family welfare activities are devastated. So what is the family tradition here referred to? The family tradition here means the offering of the pinda. Yeah, the offering of the pinda, just like we see in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya, when Jagannath Mishra passed away. So Lord Chaitanya went to Gaya. Yeah, went to Gaya to perform the Shraddha ceremony. Because it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially in the Garuda Purana, that actually when the forefather, whatever may happen, if our father, for example, a sinner, he will be sent to hell. And then in the hell, if the descendants of that person does not perform the Shraddha ceremony, because through this Shraddha, actually, we are feeding the forefather. So when they actually, it is described in the Garuda Purana very nicely about when those people get punished. Actually, the only enjoyment they get is just a very little time just to eat. They will be lucky to eat something if their sons or daughter, any descendants, perform this pinda ceremony. Because through this pinda, actually, we are offering something to our forefather, wherever they are. Especially when somebody gets the body of a ghost, this pinda ceremony will help actually. Because ghosts cannot eat actually, being in a subtle body. Yeah. But of course, in the case of Vaishnavism, our practice, we are offering prasadam, right? And that's actually can even liberate the soul of our forefather, if somehow or other they are not liberated. Yeah. Because this prasadam will help them. At least if they are not liberated directly, they will get a human form of life and then they will become devotee. Some may ask question that, oh, what is the use of, doing this Shraddha ceremony? After all, we are all devotees. Lord Nrsimhadev promised to Prahlad Maharaj that because we are devotee, so 7 generation up and 7 generation down will be delivered automatically. Then why do we need to perform this Shraddha ceremony? First of all, we have to understand that we are not in the level of Prahlad Maharaj, great devotee. Therefore, sometimes we ask question also, what is the need of following the Varnashram system, the Vedic culture? Now is the 21st century. Everything is modernized. Now is Kali Yuga, just chant Hare Krishna, that's enough. Well, there are always benefit to follow the Vedic culture. Srila Prabhupada many times explained actually by following Varnashram, we can actually upgrade ourselves to the level of Sattva Gun. And when we are situated in Sattva Gun, it's easier for us to advance in Krishna consciousness. So our practice is that Anukulya Sasankalpa, Pratikulya Savarjavan. We accept whatever favorable for our devotional service and reject what is not favorable. And Varnashram and Vedic culture is favorable for our devotional service. Therefore, we have to accept it. Therefore, the Varnashram system that we follow is Daiva Varnashram, not just Varnashram, but Daiva Varnashram. Daiva Varnashram means that Varnashram which is connected to Krishna. Yeah, Ata Pumbir Dvija Srista Varnashrama Vibhagasa Sonustita Dharmasya Samsidir Haritosham. The only purpose of following Varnashram or following Vedic culture is to please Lord Hari. Samsidir Haritosham. So here, come back to this session again. Arjuna's concern here regarding the family destruction, the dynasty's destruction, because it leads to Varna Sankara, and then the family tradition stopped because there's no training. Yeah. And as a result, everybody will go to hell. So this is the fourth reason that Arjuna gives: destruction of dynasty. That actually will lead to women being polluted and then unwanted progeny. And because there is no training in the society, everybody is killed, then we go to the hell. That's Arjuna's concern here. So that was the fourth reason. So I'm taking this purport from Srila Prabhupada's Macmillan edition in the 1968. The four orders of human society combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatan Dharma tradition by responsible leaders of society brings about chaos in that society, and consequently people forget the aim of life, Vishnu, God. Such leaders are called blind, and persons who are led by such leaders are sure to be brought into chaos. Andhaya tandai upaniyamanam. Andhaya tandai upaniyamanam tepisatantram dam nibada. Prahlad Maharaj said, just like a blind person led by another blind person, if the leader fall down to the ditch, and then the person who's being led also fall down to the ditch. So Srila Prabhupada mentioning here, if the leaders of the society forgetting the aim of life, Vishnu, then the society being led by a blind person will also go to hell. Yeah, and Srila Prabhupada did mention here about Varnashram and here Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram. Interesting. I found this and I think it's interesting and very relevant that Prabhupada mentioned here Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma. Okay, if we talk about Sanatan Dharma, there are two types of Sanatan Dharma. One is Bhagavad Dharma, and the second one is Varnashram Dharma. So Bhagavad Dharma refers to the Dharma for the soul, and Varnashram Dharma refers to the Dharma for the body, for the gross body. But still, because the system is created by Krishna himself, so this system is eternal. Yeah, it's eternal. Varnashram is eternal. Although it is referring to the material occupation. Yeah, Bhagavad Dharma refers to the spiritual occupation, being spirit soul. Our Bhagavad Dharma is bhakti to Krishna. And then Varnashram Dharma referring to the body, material things. But that's actually the path that created by Krishna. Chaturvarna Maya Shrita Guna Karma Vibhagasa. So Krishna says that I created this system for us to follow. And in fact, in the Vishnu Purana, Lord Krishna mentioned that Varnashrama Charavata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Aradhyate Panta Na Anyat Tatos Charana. Krishna says, Na Anyat Tatos Charana. There is no other way how you can please me other than following the Varnashram system. Varnashram Charavata Purushena Parapuman. Getting human form life, following the Varnashram system. Na Anyat Tatos Charana. There is no other way that can please me. Of course, Krishna is emphasizing that the importance of Varnashram for us to follow. And Srila Prabhupada later in the second chapter, we'll see one of his purport mentioned that actually human civilization start from Varnashram. Without Varnashram, our life will become just like cats and dogs. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the lecture. How is the life of cats and dogs? You just live without any rules and regulation, right? No maintaining cleanliness. Na saucham na pichacharu na satyam te suvidyate. This is demonia. Pravristim cha nivritim cha janana vidurasuraha. Na saucham na pichacharu na satyam te suvidyate. Pravritim cha nivritim cha. People don't know what to be done and not to be done. Jana na vidur ashura. Jana na vidur means they don't know. And those who do not know what should be done and not to be done, they are considered to be ashura. Janana vidur ashura. Na saucham, they don't follow cleanliness. Na saucham, na api chacharo, they don't know how to behave in the society. Na satyam, they are not truthful. Esu vidyate. So this is demonic. So without Varnashram, our life will become just like normal sinners because we're not following our culture. It's a great loss actually, especially now in India. India trying to be American, the way how they live, dress. Actually, we love to be, traditional, wearing traditional dress. So beautiful, but artificially we try to follow the Westerns because we are thinking that Americans more civilized than us. But that's actually not the truth. That's not the fact. Yeah. Well, maybe in technology they are, but not in culture. So Vedic culture is very rich. Vedic culture is very rich. So that's about Varnashram, the importance of following Varnashram, because all these traditions, referring to the Dharma. Dharma means actually operation. Text number 44 and 45. Arjuna said, alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by a desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. And Sanjaya closed chapter by saying, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Arjuna is being affected by grief. Srila Prabhupada in a lecture mentioned, therefore this battle was arranged. This is the purpose why Krishna arranged the battle. Therefore, this battle was arranged so that all the rascals and demons will come there and it will be killed in one place. And the right person, Maharaj Yudhishthira, will be installed on the throne. That was his plan, the right person. Krishna wants his representative to rule over the kings, means representative of God. Yeah. So in that lecture, Srila Prabhupada mentioning two very important points. First, why this battle happened? Because as we know that actually when Krishna, after Krishna being in Mathura, so Jarasandha came to attack Mathura. And each and every time Jarasandha attacked Mathura, so Jarasandha always being defeated. Always being defeated. And then actually he attacked 17 times. Each and every time Krishna just killed his soldiers and Jarasandha was released. And Jarasandha Every time he's being defeated, he's foolishly thinking that, oh, all others will die except me. I'm so powerful, I'm so strong. Although he just ran away. Actually, running away from battle is worse than death for Kshatriya. And then 18 times Jarasandha came, and finally Krishna decided, okay, let's move to Dwarka. Otherwise, this rascal will always create havoc. Because now this battle is arranged, Krishna is there. So, because the whole world now assemble here, all the Kshatriyas assemble here. So Krishna will kill all of them just at once in one place. That was Krishna's intention. And then second intention is that Krishna wants to glorify his devotee. Because Krishna wants Yudhishthira Maharaj to be on the throne. To be on the throne. Perfect leader, like Yudhishthira Maharaj. Actually, if we study the Bhagavatam during the reign of Yudhishthira Maharaj, like the whole world was so prosperous. Yeah, Sarva Kama Dugamahi. Yeah. So rain comes on a regular basis, there's no drought, and then the cows, they're happy. Nowadays, it's hard for us to keep cows because there's no enough land to graze the cows. The cows will be happy if we put the cows in the field grazing, not being tied in one place. The cows, they are not happy when we tied in Gosala whole day long, just like how we feel if we just stay in our room being locked 24 hours. We don't feel happy. But when they go out for grazing, eating fresh grass, they will be happy. So during that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj just ruled. So the cows is so happy, and the milk bag of the cows being so fat with milk used to moisten the whole field with milk. Nowadays, we are struggling to get just a cup of milk. But those days, like milk everywhere because the cows are happy, properly taken care. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is very ideal leader. Therefore, Lord Krishna wants his devotee to rule over the world. So we have analyzed Arjuna's reason not fighting in the first chapter. Therefore, the first one is compassion. Second one is that enjoyment. The third one is that sinful reaction. And the last one, just now we found, is that the destruction of the family dynasty. So before entering, we have 15 minutes. We just entered the beginning of the second chapter. Before entering the second chapter, whether any question or comments? If any, otherwise we can continue.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Whenever one battle is going on, one party is win and one party will lose. Whether any thinking in the mind of Arjuna that he somehow may lose the game, lose the fight. Are there any such type of thinking is there, Prabhu? And because it's a war, somebody may win, somebody may lose. Compared to the enemy, compared to the strength of Arjuna, compared to the Arjun, Pandava is very high and big is there. Are there any thinking, minus thinking with the mind of Arjuna that he may lose the game?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. No, Arjuna was confident. Arjuna was confident that he will win the battle. Actually, both parties were confident with their strength that they will win the battle. Yeah. Why Arjuna is feeling compassion? Because he know that he's gonna kill his family members. He will kill his family members. So he has the confidence that he will win the battle. So Arjuna never thinking that he will lose. But you see, by seeing the strength of his army, especially when there is Krishna, he is confident that he will win. Because Krishna killed so many demons, great demons, big demons. And he's undefeated. Never in the history that Krishna being defeated. So Arjuna was full of confidence that when Arjuna was asked by Krishna, you choose myself alone without any weapon and I will not fight, or you choose my entire army, they will fight for you and all weapons for you. And Arjuna just choose Krishna. No, I just want you. So Arjuna never thought that he will lose if he fight, but of course his heart is very soft. Even he knows that he will win, but he doesn't want to get the kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Actually, Duryodhana also very confident of his party's strength. Actually, anybody who fight will always have this confidence that I will win the battle. Anybody, you know. Okay, here there is a question in the chat. My question on compassion is how to preach to people, especially friends and relatives. I said friends and relatives, those who think that they are quite happy without practicing Krishna consciousness. Oh, what a question. This is $1 million question. Everybody thinks that I'm happy without Krishna. Everybody is thinking like that. Although this place is that Mahu Petya Punarjanma Dukalaya Masaswatam. It's confirmed by Krishna. It's stamped by Krishna. In the 8th chapter, it's stamped by Krishna. Just like we get the entry permit, the visa. Before entering India, so I have to go to Indian embassy in Indonesia and get the stamp that I'm now permitted to come to this country. So this stamp is actually the proof that yes, you are authorized. So this verse is actually very it's an authority from Krishna. Krishna himself said that Dukalaya Masasvatam. This place is full of suffering, full of miseries, and everything is temporary. Asaswatam. And then those who are thinking that they are happy without Krishna consciousness, almost everybody is thinking like that. I am happy without God. You know, I'm happy without God. This is our natural tendency. So Prahlad Maharaj is also mentioned like that. Sochetato vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukaya bharam udvahato vimudhan. It says vimudhan. Vimudhan, Prabhupada translated as fools and rascals. Sochetato vimukha chetasa. Prahlad Maharaj said, Sochetato, I'm lamenting. I'm so sad. Why he said? Vimukha chetasa indriyartha, seeing all these people engaged simply in indriya artha, simply running for sense gratification. Artha means something that you want. Indriya artha means try to please your senses. Indriya artha, maya sukaya. They are running for the flickering happiness. This is called maya sukaya, illusion. Chapala sukha. Maya sukaya means this happiness is just illusion. Just like a deer in the desert, from far in the desert you will see water. So this deer seeing water in a far away, and then he ran. The deer ran toward that place. And what happened? There is no water. And he looks to another direction, the water is there, far away, and then he ran again. Reaching that place, there is no water because it just phantasmagoria. It's just a mirage. Mirage means it's just optical illusion. For example, in a highway, sometimes we see this. Like in the front of us, when it's hot summer, you see something like water. But when you go there, there is no water. It's just heat. So that's the nature of material happiness. Maya sukaya bharam udwahato vimudan, and engage simply maintaining their family. So this is the natural tendency of people in Kali Yuga, saying that I'm happy without God. I don't need God. Prabhupada used to say, many fools and rascals says that God is dead. God is dead. Have you heard that lecture from Srila Prabhupada? But this is all nonsense, actually. Then the question here is that how to preach to people, especially to our friends or to our family members, relatives, those who are thinking that they are happy without Krishna, how to preach. Normally, you cannot preach to your friend or to your family. This is a fact. Arjuna is the example. Therefore, uh, Arjuna and Krishna, now they are friends, right? But later we'll see that Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna and becoming his disciple. Shishyasteham sadimam tuam prapanam. Because you cannot tell your friend something, because they don't value your position. We are equal. Amongst friends, you don't take their word seriously. You take it like casually. It's just my friend. Whenever I quote some slokas to my friend just laugh at me. Oh yeah, you are Panditji, blah, 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 and so on. They don't listen to me. Because this kind of friendship, relationship, people don't value so much your words. But when I speak in a class, so people listen because the position is different. And then regarding family, being too familiar, sometimes we don't take the instruction of brothers or sister or whatever. Therefore, even Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur advised his son Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to become the disciple of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Actually, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta wanted to get initiation from his own father. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, no, I cannot do this. Because you are my son, we are too familiar. Sometimes you will not listen to my words. And that's a fact. Most of the children, sometimes they don't listen to the parents' words because too familiar. So to your friends, to your relatives, sometimes it's hard to preach. I'm not saying this is an ultimate statement. This is not an absolute statement, but it just sometimes it's hard to preach to your friend and family. Then what is the solution? We can use our ISKCON bullet. This morning, Sarvadeva Mai Hari gave me 2 ISKCON bullets. He gave me gulab jamun prasad. That's so powerful. Yeah. Atasi Krishna Nama Dina Bhavet Grahyam Indriyai Sevan Muke Jiwadau Swayam Evas Puratyadaha. That's the only solution. If philosophy cannot conquer the heart, if you cannot convince your relatives, your friends, that you cannot be happy without Krishna. If they are thinking, no, I can be happy without Krishna, then this is the only way, is prasadam. Yeah, give them prasadam. Yeah, because Nabhavet Grahyam Indriyahi, the Indriya, the senses, contaminated senses, cannot appreciate Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, pastimes, etc. Therefore, Sevan Mukhe Hiji Vadao, engage the tongue. Engage the tongue first. 2 functions of the tongue. One is vibrating sounds, second is tasting. So if they don't want to chant holy name, give them prasad. So slowly but surely they will become devotee. So one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples was sharing a pastime. Actually, it's always interesting when there's in YouTube we can find Srila Prabhupada's memory series, where different disciples of Srila Prabhupada sharing their pastime stories with Srila Prabhupada. So one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples was mentioning, I forgot his name, but was mentioning that In the beginning, Srila Prabhupada, whenever he conducted a lecture, so he'll put in the door of the temple that a bucket of gulab jamun, and it's written there, after lecture, whoever come out from the hall, temple hall, they can take one sweet ball and go. So there was one guy enter the lecture, sit there for 5 minutes, and came out, take one gulab jamun, and after 10 minutes, he enter again, sit there for 2 minutes, came out to take the sweet. 3 times happened. And Srila Prabhupada noticed that, oh, you have came here 3 times. Because he likes the sweet. He doesn't like the philosophy, but he likes the sweet. You cannot get the sweet if you don't come to the lecture. Therefore, he comes 3 times every 5 minutes just to get the sweet. And finally, later, he becomes devotee and being initiated by Srila Prabhupada. So feed them prasadam. That's the only solution, because prasadam is so powerful. And amongst the senses, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that dharmadye jivati, amongst all the senses, the jiva, the tongue, is most difficult to control. Most difficult to control. So give them prasadam. If philosophy cannot conquer them, give them prasadam. Because sometimes when we try to give philosophy, we may end up by quarreling. This happens, yeah. Not at all, not all people ready to accept our philosophy. Not all people. Therefore, give them prasadam. That's how we conquer their heart. Slowly but surely. And that's also depend on the quality of prasadam. Of course, when we talk about prasadam, prasadam is transcendental. But the mood when we cook the prasadam also, actually, whatever state of mind that we have while cooking it, that state of mind will enter to that food. Yeah. Therefore, we advise Bisaira ana kaile dusta hayaman, mana dusta haile nahi Krishna rasmara. Never take any food prepared by the Bisayi, by the materialistic people, because dusta hayaman, our mind will become crooked, will become polluted. Mana dusta haile nahi Krishna rasmara. We cannot think about Krishna if our mind being polluted. So when we cook, when we prepare prasadam, so we have to meditate on Krishna, on Srila Prabhupada, on Guru. Then the quality of the prasadam is like really powerful. Well, of course, here in Mayapur, we have so many spots where you get prasadam, like in Govinda's, prasadam stall, this and that. But if we really want real result of prasadam, better to prepare by ourselves, because we cook with love. We want to offer it to Krishna, right? We have our deities. We want to offer it to Krishna. Yeah. But still, I'm not blaming anybody here. Still, the prasadam stall here in Mayapur is good. Yeah, prepared by devotees. They are chanting, and they offer, of course, with the mentality that they will get some money out of that, but still prepared by devotees. Better than we are eating somewhere in outside hotel, motel, whatever you call it here in India. Yeah. So that's my response regarding that. Sometimes not
Thank you very
everybody,
much.
not
Thanks,
everybody is ready with philosophy. Okay, well, finally, we will not enter the second chapter today. It's 9:29. So yeah, please read the second chapter for our next class till text number 30 at least. Yeah. So we will see from text 1 to 10. Next discussion will be the fifth reason for Arjuna not to fight, and then we will see Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna. And then from text 11 to 30, Krishna will speak about Atma Tattva Gyan, which actually defeat Arjuna's first reason of being falsely compassion. We'll talk about that in our next discussion on Monday. I thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.